Hello everyone, I'm Meena Noronha and I'm back with another episode of Walk the Special Path. Today we have another beautiful, distinguished and a wonderful guest today, Dr. Meena Pereira. Welcome Dr. Meena to our show.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Meena Pereira is a Dean and Associate Professor at Roshni, Nilaya. She is in the PG Department of Social Work, Roshni Nilaya College, Mangalore. She is a MSW and PhD in Social Work and is a recognized guide for PhD in Social Work. So welcome ma'am to our show today.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Today, Dr. Meena Pereira is going to talk about mental health of parents and caregivers of special needs children. In today's society, we have seen there are so many parents going through depression, going through a lot of issues, social, physical, emotional, and especially they have these mental breakdowns. They have burnouts when they don't know how to face these challenges put up by these own children, by the society which they are facing. So today we are going to have a discussion with Dr. Meena about mental health and how these parents can be supported, how the parents and caregivers can be saved from these burnouts. We'll speak more about these with her. And Dr. Ma'am, what would you say? Why is mental health of special needs parents important?
Okay, mental health is required for all of us. It's not only with regard to special needs or parents, but it's important for everybody. It's a connection between the mother and the child and also the family members. As you understand, mental health includes physical also, it includes emotional, psychological and social well-being. When at times these aspects or these areas are not identified and balanced enough, then there are a lot of problems here. And especially you see they are not able to cope with stress, they are not able to cope with other issues in the family, coping or adjustments, and that's where exactly the mental health gets affected. So until and unless the parents of special children have been stable enough and they have a balanced mental health, it's very difficult for them to take care of their siblings or children or anybody in the family. And that has an impact on their health as well as the health of the others. I think you would have seen a lot of parents are into aggression, you see the siblings also into that, and you see the family bonds becoming lesser and loosen it. And that's where exactly the mental health gets strained here, which people don't understand. So here we need to give them a lot of importance with regard to mental health, help them cope with situations and work on burnout, and that's where exactly they get exhausted physically and emotionally.
Right, yeah. Ma'am. I think for all parents out there, mental health is very important. But this is one topic which we don't discuss. We don't bring it out open because mental health is something which has taken a back seat.
Yes.
Because nowadays the society is so, competitive.
True, yes.
But not only parents, I think when it comes to this, the special needs parents, they have a greater impact. They suffer more because they don't know how to talk about it. So I would like to ask you, ma'am, what is the impact of caring for these special needs children on the caregivers of these children?
As our society, we see our Indian society, a lot of traditional and a lot of culture is there, and the bonds are such that it has to be within the four walls of the house.
Right.
So exactly when there's a disabled or a child who has special needs, who wants special needs, parents are not comfortable enough to talk about the child elsewhere. And that's why they curtail the freedom, and the woman, especially in the house, has to balance between career and home. And that's where everything is pressurized on the woman. And the man may be going out for work is not a part at times with the woman to help out in other responsibilities. Right. And also the children there. And that's where our society is, you have to look after the child, and that's exactly what goes on. I can give you an example here where I know of a family where there's a special child. And it was so that this child was kept inside the house and no special training, of course. And the child was inside the room and the child used to scream and attack. All that thing, aggression was too much in the child, and there was a lot of commotion in the house. and it was so uncontrollable. The child was not let outside, so food was inside the house, the child was kept in that room.
Very sad.
And yeah, very bad it is. And it happened in our city itself some years ago, where educated families, and it happened there. And you see, this is the actual situation that's happening around. Very few of the parents go beyond a mile, work ahead, and place them in special cares or schools where children are helped to go on, work and improve. But there are some instances also like this, as I told you, where the mindset of the people need to change.
Right.
Like people have in mind that, especially when they get married to close relatives, maybe cousins or so, they already have heard something about that or read somewhere. They usually say, okay, I have married first cousins, so that's why I have got a child like this. So if that mindset is there, then there's an obstacle where they don't cater to the requirements of the special needs of the child. And that's where exactly the family has to think of and treat the special child as something they need to cope with, a priority to it, and it's part of life, something very normal. So help the children also. And the impact on this is too much, especially I'm talking about the emotion, I'm talking about the health. Especially the mother loses out on nutrition, because
Right.
she spends a lot of time with the child, and there can be health issues with the woman there or the mother, or it can also happen with the father also, or maybe the children who are quite normal in the family, they also will have challenges
Right.
because they have not been taught with regard to how to cope with these situations.
Yeah. Physical health anyway, it suffers, because especially if it's a one parent goes to work, so financial again they will suffer.
Yes.
And again the sibling, that rivalry is there. So overall I think a special parent is very prone to sickness
Yes,
or
true.
ill health. Now ma'am, coming back to it, it's talking about raising a special needs child from the childhood to adulthood. The special parent will go through different stages along with the child. So mental health is affected more so. So what is the impact here of raising a special child on mental health of a parent?
Okay, here the mother or the father, whoever is involved with the child for long hours, from morning to evening, they are following the same routine. So there's a lot of social withdrawal. You would have seen they don't go out, they are not allowed, not exactly allowing, but they don't get a chance and they cannot compensate.
Non-acceptance,
Yeah,
yes, of
and they are
others.
not able to do that and attend any social gatherings, because in our society, a lot of people ask, how did that happen? Or what
Right.
could be the reason for
They
that?
keep comparing also.
Yes, they
with
keep
others.
comparing. And sometimes I have heard parents saying, okay, you are fortunate, you have a normal child too.
Right.
So that's exactly where what we should not talk to these parents, which can affect them a lot. And there's a lot of emotional exhaustion. There can be anxiety, at times leading to depression. There can be a lot of fear about the future of the child. So
Right.
these are all the impacts that can have on the mother, especially who takes care. And as of whom I have spoken to, one of the parents who had come, and then they were saying, I have no time to eat because of the nutritional
Right.
status. Then I was suggesting them, okay, you can have food before you feed the child, because it takes some time there. And it shouldn't be that it's a schedule of I have to spend 1 hour with the child and it's a waste. So you take it positively and you enjoy, show the love and care, and that's exactly what will bring back to you, which can give you the outcome very positively.
Right, and that's very good. I think we all need to support such parents also. And all parents are scared what others are going to think, and they can't find time to mix with others. Maybe they need to really, get stress free. So coming back, ma'am, to that, I would like to ask you, a parent gets, burnt out by doing the same thing in and out. At least other normal parents can go out, do so many activities, which a special parent is not able. So they get burned out. They get really sometimes, so depressed. So how can such parents cope up with the burnout?
Okay, burnout is where there's a lot of physical exhaustion and emotional exhaustion, where the thinking gets blocked. Sometimes parents do feel hopelessness in life because I'm doing the same thing and there are no results. It's habitual for me and the routine. Every day I wake up and do the same thing, but there's no support. So here exactly the mother can think of sharing responsibilities with the people around in the house. It can be with the husband, make a proper schedule or for the child and for the responsibilities being shared. It can also be with the older children in the house. We can always give them some small activities to take care of the child who is special.
Yes.
Especially with feeding, I have heard of these instances where they take care of feeding, make them walk, or with their activities they follow them up. That can be done where the mother can be away from it for some time. The mother can also think of relaxation or meditation, listening to music, which can enhance positivity in her, and a lot of negative feelings that have been pent up in the mother can always come out by these activities. Also, self-care is very important, like having time for yourself, especially with food, especially with walking about or recreation. Sometimes time for yourself is going to the parlor. Of course, some women do not do that, or for a massage, or maybe spend time in the park, or maybe with friends. You have build a network where you can sit with them. Also,
It's very true what you're saying, because I myself am a parent for 25-year-old. I know it's very, very difficult, but I think we can try at least with what you said.
also, one more thing is social media networks. No, on Facebook, you can create a secure page where particular passwords and all only accessible for special parents of these children, and then you can get a lot of information. You can share your stories. You can get a lot of guidance there. Maybe you can have some professionals also in that group who can give you tips now and there, so that can also enhance or boost your system of function.
I think this is my way of going through News Karnataka. We are doing a few episodes, so I think that also helps.
Yes, true.
It's our intention is to create awareness, to reach out to more and more people. So I just hope that this all it helps these parents to get out of this stress. Now, ma'am, again, what you spoke to me about a support group. So what is the importance of a support group for special parents?
Okay, special parents can come together, talk about their family, talk about the children, what are the challenges they face there, and what more can be done with regard to this. I'm sure this gives them a feeling of saying that I'm not alone. There are people much more suffering like me, or the challenges are much more.
In the same boat.
Yeah, we are sailing in the same boat, but there are difficulties much more than I experience. So this is not bad. I can overcome. Something like why me to why I can overcome, or we can overcome.
They can, even I can.
Yes.
Something like that.
So in this situation, that gives you hope, and that's where support group or support networking system can really help. And you can also think of options with regard to special education. Some parents are unaware where their children can be placed or sent for education. So that can be a platform which can set them and help them to cope. Identify places for education. Also a platform where children can meet each other. So understanding together, or maybe making them sit together through, may not be able to speak, but through their non-verbal communication, there's a lot of communication taking place. So that also can be another place where you can get an expression of some support, that somebody is there for me, and I too can do a lot of things with this. There's a lot of positive vibes there when you meet together.
Right, I think so, because right now we have a support group for parents with special needs, but there are parents who hesitate because most of them are in denial stage. But even though acceptance comes, they are worried about what others are going to think. Even they form a part of the support group on social network, they are really not ready to come out and say it. There's so many parents have faced, ma'am, seen ki they don't want to say we have a special needs. Maybe it's a stigma or all these issues. So based on that, ma'am, I would like to ask you, what are the challenges a special parent will face when they have a special needs child? They have to give their full time to that child. So what are the challenges, most important challenges, especially in Indian society, or coming back to Mangalore community? What are the main challenges which parents will face?
Okay, challenges what they face is social stigma is still there, because when we always look at a family having a special child, we always think why it happened there, or what could be the reason there. But we don't understand the feelings and the underlying disability there and the challenges they face. Also, one of the important challenges is lack of time. They cannot manage time accordingly. That is the first thing. They are not able to cope up with any aggressive behavior with the child. Especially it can be with the normal child, it can be with the special child, because aggression is there everywhere. And also disciplining will be a challenge again. When there are other children who are normal, disciplining is a big question mark, because more often when the mother or the father is with the special child, they can't give attention to the other children. So whatever the child does, you just leave it like that. and that goes on. The child will not realize whether he should do it or not.
I think sibling rivalry also comes.
That
They get
also
jealous.
comes, yeah, because they often you see the parents with that child, and so
right.
this child suffers. That also is there. Also, they don't accept.
Right,
That
right.
that is another challenge here, that my brother or sister is like this, and in school they don't talk about them, and they feel very
And
bad.
they differentiate it also.
Yes.
This personal experience I'm telling, because I have a special needs brother, sister. People's behavior towards that sibling is again different.
Yes, true, true.
I think that should change.
And also these children, especially I'm talking about having a special child in the family, the normal children are so tuned to the gadgets here. So they are all the time
Right.
with that, because the parents cannot divert their attention there. So it's like they just tell them to study, do this and do that, but nobody to follow them up. Also another example could be a lack of attention for the spouse also.
Yes, yes.
And
that's one
in
very
addition to
important
that, if there are elderly parents in the house, so
Right.
that's also another challenge where the woman cannot balance. Also, there are instances where I know of a family where the woman had to sacrifice her career for this, and the man took up an extra mile of going ahead, and then he used to work on shifts,
Oh.
so that just to bring that income which has been lost.
Right.
And this woman saw that trouble of the man, and then she used to work hard to take him to speech therapy, to take him to special education, and other activities were taken care of. She appreciates the man who comes late night with a smile, so that's exactly what she used to express. And this can happen with some families.
Little things we can
Yeah.
work on. And nowadays, I think we don't have joint families. We have nuclear families, so it's more difficult.
Yes, true.
Because in joint families, if all are working together, it's little more support.
Yes,
But here in nowadays nuclear families, it's more difficult for the person who is full-time caregiver.
true, yes.
Anyway, financially they suffer, but again emotionally, physically, it's very big strain.
Yeah.
So we come back, ma'am. Like, how can society and friends like help in this manner? Because a special need family is struggling. So we have society to point out all the time. Okay, your child is like that. Your child is behaving. You have not given good manners. But how can a society and friends step in and give support to that family?
Society can think of a lot of options here. I'm talking about now your channel itself, bringing in people here and conducting an interview, talking about, that's an awareness which can be spread. And when people look at this and get information, they also feel we have to include them in the society. They are a part of the society. So inclusion is important. And also we need to help these people out, support them. And that's where we can encourage more programs in school also from childhood. Okay, in lower classes itself we can talk about this particular issue, and where children also are open, so they treat them equally. And you have seen some schools where there are an integration of normal children and special children. In Mangalore itself you have a school where they cater to a lot of needs of these people, so there's something like empathy in them.
I think we should have more of such things.
Yes, and I have been a witness there how as soon as these children are on the wheelchair, how they take them to the classes.
That's
So
really
that's
wonderful to
happening.
see
They help them get down from the bus and all these things. Even feeding, they are there. Even making them work out certain activities or writing, they are there. So that itself an example where we can think of helping this particular group of people and making them more positive, strengthening the families. Also friends can talk about, like giving them support, especially when you meet a parent like this. It shouldn't be like what happened and why did this happen to you. No, instead, if you find it difficult, you can contact me. I'm there for you.
Right.
Or you feel worked up, you can talk to me. See, these are the little things that we can talk to them and just help them be a part.
Right.
So friends can contribute this way. And encourage networks. That's very important. Every way networks have a greater influence in helping these children
I
out.
think if that special mother can't come, why don't we go to the special mother? Like,
Yeah.
maybe spend some time with her. Maybe some friends can do that.
Yes.
Step in for some time at least so that the mother can get a break.
Yes, true.
And
Yeah.
teach other children also to have acceptance and inclusiveness. I think that will go a big way.
True, yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for that. And again, ma'am, I would like to ask, like, especially parents or families with siblings or spouses, socialization will get a big setback
Yeah.
because they are not able to do what others are able to do. So what would you suggest for them, how they can help towards that? Because socialization is a very important part of society, but when it comes to special needs parents, it's usually either nil or very less. So what would your advice be there for them?
In our society, usually what happens is, especially I'm talking about a social gathering, we don't take that child along with us.
It
because
happens, yes, many places.
taking these children is a big difficult task for us. And when we take the child around, people will come and ask and talk about it. It's always a sympathy there. So creating a scene of sympathy which the parents would not accept, neither you would like it when somebody
Right.
says it. So here the mother has to take this particular special child to be very positive, a priority in life. And through this, I think she will grow. She will get a lot of confidence and to cope, and she will become more positive also with this. And that's why she has to take the child along with her. Maybe once or twice the people will ask her, they'll look at her, they'll question her, but after that it seems to be quite normal. So you take the child along with you anywhere you feel like, and also maybe for a walk it is advised, may not be quite far but very close.
Right.
Also you can invite children to play with the child, or maybe you can make the child sit somewhere there and children around. So that itself creates an atmosphere of socialization. Socialization need not be only playing with the child. It can be non-verbal communication. It can be almost sitting with the child is also enough. So that's a responsibility of the family, where the family can take the child out of the house.
Right.
Or also invite people, or maybe contact a few friends, or maybe in the family you have children, no, extended family.
Right.
You can call them weekends and just be with the child. See, that's
It's very
socialization.
difficult, ma'am, because we have tried, because all these normal children are busy with their gadgets,
Yeah.
busy with their studies. Nobody has a time. Nowadays, I think time is of essence. Everybody is busy in their own world.
Yeah,
Can't blame them, because education has become very competitive. Nobody has the time.
true.
So I think, but we need to do something at a very root level. Take the children out more. I think the parents should stand up for their child.
Yes.
Take them out more, and maybe similar parents, like more of special parents, can go out together.
Yes.
I think that would be better. I think,
Yes.
ma'am, what would you say?
Yeah, parents can go together, think of what are the alternatives or options available, talk about your stress, talk about your emotions,
That would be.
and then you're relieved on that.
I
You
think
come
that
back.
understanding also will be there from one special parent to another.
Yeah,
They
true.
understand.
True. And once you get that, I think there's a confidence in you. You feel happy about it. There are positive vibes there.
Right.
And you
That's-
come back and something new happens, and you practice something new what you've got from your friends, and you try to work out those activities what you have never seen or heard of.
Right.
So that itself can enhance your functioning too. So that can be done.
That's, I think we can celebrate festivals, because I would like to give you an example, ma'am. Here in Mangalore, we did a Christmas party for special needs children and welcomed volunteers to come and help with us.
That is
And there
2014.
was, no, last year, ma'am. Last
Okay.
year, December, at Bharat Academy, we did a program where we called special need families and some volunteers, and we had a Christmas party. It was the first time we did an event here in Mangalore. So I was thinking whether that time a few families came out, but I want more people to come out. I think
Okay.
that would be a good example, like we could celebrate Diwali, Christmas together
Yes.
with normal special children, or I was talking about buddies, having buddies for special children and normal children together.
Yes.
What would you say about that? That's a good idea to
Yeah,
continue, ma'am?
it's a good idea, where normal children also will make that socialization,
I think
there.
they also get
Yes.
to benefit from that.
True, yes.
They learn patience,
They will also
kindness.
understand.
Right.
They will also learn from there, and how they can understand the emotions of another person. That is also there. And also I would suggest the parents who are having special children here to appreciate every activity or a move of the child,
Right.
especially a smile, especially it can be any movement,
Right,
with
any
motor
small
skills,
thing, right.
any small things. If you are a part on Facebook, if you have a media contact where you can share it and people encourage
yes.
or appreciate, and that's something nice, a milestone in life of the child, where the child hasn't done it, but here she has done, and you see those improvements.
Celebrate that.
So that is
happiness,
that
right.
celebration.
Share.
Yes.
Now, ma'am, we have talking about so many things as special parents others can do. But some parents are very fast, they point out, oh, you have not given good manners to that. That's why it's not behaving properly. You have pampered that child. It's so easy to say. But a special parent only knows the difficulty. Now, I would like to ask you, what one should never say to such special parents?
Okay, usually what happens is when these children run around, especially I'm talking about autistic children here, they
Right.
run around, they don't sit in a particular place, they scream and all that. So the others do not understand the severity or the type of problem there.
Right.
And so they say, you have not trained the child well.
Right.
Why doesn't your child sit here? So that's exactly what they say. Sometimes they say, thank God you have a normal child again. You have another child who is normal.
Right, yes.
That's another one where they usually say, and they say, I'm sorry you have a special child. See, these things should not be said always. And then you should thank God, at least your child is better than the other child in the neighborhood.
That's very common, yes.
So these are the exclamatory marks, what they say, statements they give. And they also say, you are quite busy, is it? Your entire life will go into it. So that's where the child will feel
God
hurt.
has blessed you, they
Yes.
say. Oh, you have got blessing. But they don't really understand what a
Yes.
special parent goes through.
Instead, you can always say, in case you need help, I'm there.
Right.
You
Very
can
true,
get
ma'am.
back to me and contact me if you are emotionally down. Or maybe you can invite me somewhere where I can talk to your family.
Right.
So that's exactly where can help them and give them a little hope in life to go on with these children.
I think they can make them a part of their event, or call the
True.
child to celebrate your child's birthday. You can start small things.
Yes, sometimes what happens is when there's a common gathering, usually these parents have been told by the others there who have come there for the function, they always tell, okay, you didn't come because of the child.
Yes.
So it's always there. Why don't you send somebody?
right.
Or why don't you come and leave the child? See, these are the statements they
Yes,
make,
yes,
which
very
is not
much.
possible for the mother or anybody who's a caretaker for the child there.
Instead of that, they can say, "Come, you bring your child and come. If there's any
True,
difficulty,
yes.
we all are there.
We can help
Right,
you.
right,
We'll be
right.
there. Yeah.
I think that should be the attitude of people, and then only
Yes.
we can work together to have a better community. So now, ma'am, you are a counselor. You are doing so much social work. How satisfied are you with your profession?
When I was doing my graduation itself, I had this thought, a passion to work with people. And that's exactly where I thought which area of profession is important for me. And I chose this and this specialization of medical and psychiatry, where the counseling is a part of it, where I understand people having different issues and problems. And so I took it up, and then I still pursued my education with regard to PhD, until PhD on life skills, where I thought if life skills I take up, I can foster or enhance growth in children also, handling emotions and other areas. More of a balanced life for them, coping with their stress, all those issues, social adjustments or emotional maturity, and all these areas. So I took it up. So from then onwards, I had this passion. So I feel contented with what profession I have taken. I'm happy. Finally, end of the day, it's a satisfaction that you
True.
get. So it's like touching the life of another person here. And also, I've been training my students also to help each other to go into the society, look out positives, help them with whatever resources they have. I'm not talking about material, but otherwise, and support them emotionally. That's where that will also come back to you as a
Right.
growth. And I too have grown along with that. There's a lot of growth. Initially, when I took up my postgraduate studies, I too didn't understand certain things. Now I know why people are into this problem. So it's like you learn from it and you
Right.
come out.
There's no age
and
for learning.
Yes. And so it's like where I have found happiness and satisfaction.
It's a wonderful thought, ma'am. It's really. Now we are just before we coming to close, ma'am. I would like to ask your suggestions. How can we make Mangalore or Karnataka a more inclusive community? A community where people come together. A community where special parents are not burdened. They're not mentally down. How do you think, as together as a community, we can help this?
Some of the families, what I feel is still they have some stigma in that, they think coming out is not really my area where I should be away from it. I should not come out. What people will say, the stigma there again. So for these people, we have to bring a lot of awareness. I think one, as I said, from your channel, what is going on as from News Karnataka, I'm talking about social media also. We'll have to talk about bringing in peer support, smaller groups. I'm saying not a very formal group, but a smaller group, especially in your locality where you find there's a need. So you bring those people together, maybe one or two, to start with one or
Right.
two, and bring in awareness. Also in our education system, we need to introduce this here and there. Special education education of why it is important, of why children need this, so that they also can understand these are the ways how they can cope, how they can learn. That also can be inclusive there. And also how to cope with emotions. I'm not only talking about these children, but also I'm talking about the parents. And we need to consider also they are capable in other ways. It may not be in particular intellectual ability, but otherwise they are good in their own way, maybe in artwork or craft work or anything like that, they are good. So think of those areas and consider them to be normal. It's a normal thing. It's just a priority you need to give, and also you have to live with it. You have to give the maximum, even though you will face challenges. There are a lot of alternatives where you can seek support and then go like that.
Instead of saying disabled, we should say differently abled.
Yes, true. Yes.
As you said, acceptance, awareness, inclusiveness, all together will help us.
Yes.
Better to form a inclusive community.
Usually what happens is with parents, they deny the fact that the child is special.
Right.
And I have heard of 2-3 cases in college which have come to me.
There's a lot of them.
And they just they tell me that I want to send my child to a normal school, which you will not be able to do that because the child needs special education.
They don't want to accept it.
They don't accept. When there is denial, when there's guilt, also there's self-blame at times, also blaming the partner for that, and there's a lot of guilt with that. And when that guilt is there, that mindset gets affected. There's an obstacle where you cannot give your maximum. So these negative thoughts have to go. Until and unless you accept, there cannot be anything that you can give the maximum. There's nothing positive.
I think what you said is correct. Parents going through that guilt also. Maybe something I've done wrong, something that's why I got a child like that. That's always there in the mind.
Yeah.
I think first you should remove that.
True. Yes.
Accept them wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And let us work together for awareness and inclusiveness. All together we can work better.
There are parents also who have a single child and that child is a special child, and they will not plan for the next one because already they are judgmental, saying that okay, the other one also will be like that.
Doctors tell them, okay, because your first child is like this, you have possibility of second child. So that fear is there.
Yeah, a lot of fear, anxiety, and some of them also get into depression. A few cases there. Also, there are a few challenges where the parents face with these children is there can be a little of abuse in these children as these children grow older. Especially, I'm talking about girl child when there's menstruation taking place. A lot of attention is gone there of the mother, and the child will not understand at times. In those instances, there can be abuse with few children here.
Happens,
yeah, so here also we can talk to the parents with regard to psychoeducation, telling them how they can help the child out, or safety of the child. All that can be done. There are instances in the bus, certain things that have happened where parents disclose on all this. So these are the issues which we need to consider and help them out like this.
Right. Thank you, ma'am, for that. Ma'am, what message would you like to give to News Karnataka?
Okay, I would like to tell that special children are important. It's not a burden in our families, so we'll have to firstly accept them as they are. Of course, there are a lot of time that takes place. We require a lot of time. There are a lot of challenges with regard to this. In spite of that, we'll have to work it out. We'll have to work with our family members. We'll have to see that we are positive and we can schedule our time likewise. And these parents need to work out by networking. Also, they should not keep things to themselves. Speak out or seek professional help when it is required, because they get affected physically and mentally. When that gets affected, it's very difficult to cater to the needs of these children, and support is also lost. So here, what I would advise the parents here is to seek support elsewhere when you feel you're quite exhausted, or you can take help from somebody in your family or some friends of yours, and take special children as important in life. It's a blessing at times because where you are there, which can increase your joy, your happiness, these areas where you can identify. Sometimes you feel low, but when you see the child improving, there's a lot of joy and happiness in you. That should be important. Also, another example is here where children get affected, also the normal children. So try to adjust likewise with normal children by giving that responsibility to the other parent also, where you can share your responsibility here. That also can be done, and not be hesitant in this particular matter, saying that I have a special child. So contact people, read through the lot of books, lot of literature available, read through. Also think it's a priority in life, and celebrate certain small events that are there in your family, especially with children like this, and make it a feeling where I can overcome anything in life,
Right.
and that makes you very positive. So with acceptance, everything comes on. Appreciate yourself. End of the day, I have done a good
Right.
job. So, and take care of your health, take care of your sleep, which is very important, and manage time well.
Right.
I think it's easy for me to say, but in practice,
It's
I
good
know
tips,
you're
yes, good
you're
enough.
experiencing. But I think you will find the joy
Right.
that you have been overcome, able to overcome these instances in these difficulties in life.
I think, and News Karnataka is a channel which we have got through which we are able to speak, spread awareness, so we can all reach out to a lot of people out there.
Yeah,
So I think a big thanks to News Karnataka too.
yeah.
So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving us such wonderful insights, such good tips
Yes.
for all the parents. So before we leave, I would like just ask to all the special parents out there: do not lose hope. Don't give up. Don't feel guilty. Anything you do, keep trying. There are parents, so many parents sailing in the same boat. The storm is same. The boats are different, but we just need to come together. Never give up. Reach out if you are going through any burnouts, going through any tension, depression. If you can't speak, just reach out. There are so many families, special families, you have support groups, so many experts, so many counselors out there. Reach out to them. Please don't keep everything bottled inside you. It's going to, your family is going to suffer. If a parent is not happy, the child will not be happy, the family will not be happy. So keep yourself happy. Try to do some hobbies, do socialization if it's difficult. Please reach out to others, other parents. There are so many parents with special needs. Reach out to others. There is no shame in seeking for help. So all parents, stay safe, be calm. Let us all be together in this journey. Let us walk the special path together. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.